Greetings and salutations, everyone. My name is Samurai Schultz, and welcome to HATEND. So let's see. Last time we were drawing, we made. I wish this would stay in focus. It doesn't do that for some reason. Anyways, we made this face, and then we were working on hair as well. And if I pull up, let's see if I can pull up my other file here. I'm gonna close that. I'm gonna open up PureRef again here. And we'll open up this one. Right, so we're looking for kind of this this is purely hair. Might even delete a few of these that don't really align. Pretty much these are the best images for our main character, the HATEND, or one of the HATEND. The HATEND is a group of people. And we were just working on the face and the hair, but mostly the hair last time. And if let's see this in action. 1 second. 1 second. I'm actually going to put this off to the side because I don't really need it right now. And there we go. Okay, so now you should be able to see that on the side there. Right, so we were working on this last time. And if I'm doing this correctly, I should be able to. I want to take this right here. Sorry about the mowing outside. That's just the way it goes sometimes. Yo, that's not what I want to do. Oh, whoops. We are in the wrong layer. Got to go to the hair layer. Okay, grabbing that. And, oh, he's mowing right outside my window now. That's cool. Right, something like this. So we kind of have this, this mustached face with this hair right here. But before I do that, I want to make the most of my half hour here that I'm working on this. And I actually want to I want to stay in the hair layer, and I'd like to draw a beard. So I'm going to do that here. So what is a hold up. I'm going to try to find a yeah, you know what? Yeah, let's go right here. Let's go right here. I'm going to move this off to the side. Okay. So I was looking up gargoyles, which is what I want to be drawing next. Whoops. What did I do wrong here? Okay, anyway. Lanky man with beard. So just kind of see dark beard. I hate to tell you, that's not a beard though. I'm looking for something like that or that, except less well groomed. I think I might even have a separate layer for beard because, okay, I'm not finding anything. Okay, well, screw that. I'm just gonna go back to this and, yep, we do have a separate layer for beard. You can see that I've highlighted it. Here, you can see it highlighted there. Okay, anyway. We actually don't need this right now, so I'm going to close that. And let's go crazy here. I've never drawn a beard before, so it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting for sure. So we've got, I'm thinking roughly it's just going to be, I mean, if you're a dude with a jaw about this wide and your beard just kind of grows out haphazardly in a stuffy environment, such as a coffin, for many, many years, it's probably not going to look that well groomed. Is there a smudge tool? You know what? Actually, I want to undo this. One sec. Let's see if there's a better tool to use. Okay, that's not really that much better. If I decrease my brush size. That's kind of nice. Let's try maybe this. Yeah, that's too extra. We're gonna get a super ugly looking beard like this. Even a little bit off the sideburns. Maybe it like tapers off somewhat. You guys can hear every pen tap, can't you? Holy crap. Anyway. Okay. And then I think whoa. We can airbrush this. I do not want this jaw to show. And also, I'm going to switch back here. We're going to make a lot of lines crossing that jawline so it's less visible. Gonna add some really light strokes here. is this light texturing. I feel like it's gonna add to it. Okay. And we're gonna add a bunch of hair right here. Okay. Okay, and we're going back to airbrush to make that nice and dark. Okay. Honestly, that's really all I need. Because again, I'm trying to make a prototype. I'm not trying to make cover art for the Steam page or something like that. Okay. Nice. Yeah, it obscures the jawline pretty well, so I like that. If I do that. Anyway, let's take this and I'm going to move it. So it can totally detach this now. It's more modular when you have all these different layers. So we're about 15 minutes in, and I'd like to just put this all together because I want to work on my next drawing thingamabob. Okay, so obviously we have some fadedness going on that should not be happening. So while we are in the hair layer, I'm going to just like, okay, I'm gonna grab my brush, I'm gonna grab this, I'm just gonna make these strands look a little nicer. Gonna add this up on top. Gonna add some very light strokes. Maybe even add something like that. Yeah. Okay. So that's pretty accurate to what I want for this character. I know it's kind of basic, uh, but I'm not too worried about it. If I want to change it later, then I can. I just need something to go off of right now, just coming from the heart. Okay. Anyways, next order of business. We are going to remove this. It's off screen right now, but save. Okay. I'm going to open up PureRef again. And I'm going to open our gargoyle thing here. So this is for... That's what I want. Just trying to figure out how to display this. 1 second. Okay, that should be good. Okay, so one of the one of the monsters for my game that I designed completely by myself is this gargoyle. Not the gargoyle itself, obviously, but what it does. So, hold on, I'm gonna scroll out. So, the gargoyle in the game, the way I've designed it is it's supposed to, when it detects the player, it's supposed to emit smoke around itself. And when that smoke completely engulfs the player, that is when the gargoyle kind of uses that smoke as a cover to constantly pounce in and out on the player they attack them, weaving in and out of the smoke. That's kind of the design there. But I want to learn how to draw that right now. So I'm just gonna go for it. I feel like this will be the simplest one right here, so I'm just gonna start with that. So right underneath our failed female face there, we're gonna wait a while till we try and draw that again. I'm gonna say gargoyle right there. Okay. So remember, we're doing the iterative approach. So first iteration is gonna be really bad. We'll take like 30 seconds to do it, hopefully not more. We'll say some boons and some flaws about it, the good and the bad, and then we'll move on and just do a bunch of those. Okay, ready, set, go. Okay, alright, I'm just gonna, this is gonna be a very, very rough sketch. Okay, and actually I'm gonna make this wider. Okay, maybe I went a little too fast here, because this is quite bad. This might just be a crash course. There's not really a lot of boons to go over. Let me just try to get used to the face shape here. So then we have this. Just kind of, it's crooked there. We have all these teeth. Okay. And then we have this tongue sticking out here. I'm gonna draw a little chin there. And I'm gonna even do that. And I'll even draw, I'll throw on the inside of the ear. How about that? Okay, so obviously, it's terrible, right? I wasn't focusing well on the face shape. Wasn't focusing well on most things. I was just trying to get used to the layout. So, doesn't matter. Gonna put that behind us and try again. So, alright. Ready, set, go. Okay. So here, I'm gonna take a little bit of a different approach. And I'm gonna just draw the shape without the ears. I feel like that'll be simpler. So, let's go like this. We're gonna drop down into the chin there. And then the head is rather flat, except for that little bump right there. Okay. And then off the side here, we're gonna have come up, go like this. much going to have it go just that way. Okay. It's not perfect, but still pretty good. And then we're going to have this come over this way. Okay, and then again, it's going to go up and back down, connecting there. Okay. And for each side, I'm actually going to... We're on the hair layer. We should not be on the hair layer, unfortunately. Okay. So on skeleton, I'm just going to do this right here. We'll do eyes. Oops. Do eyes about there. And then I'm going to switch back to details. And, okay, we got a really high brow right there. So we've got that. We've got our nose holes. I'm going to make those a little bit less prominent. Okay, and then we have this right here, which is going to snap there. And then I'm even gonna extend that up. Okay. Remember, even though your early iterations are gonna look pretty rudimentary, like this, obviously not a finished product, right? Like there's no way I can make a sculpture based on this. I'm not showing any texture. I'm not showing enough detail. And there's no color assigned to it either, which is also kind of a problem. So we need to have that. Okay, anyways, we're gonna have the tongue down here. And I'm gonna show teeth. Okay, it doesn't even show the lower teeth, so that's kind of interesting. And these actually need to be a lot bigger. Okay, so I think that's a good size. And then just gonna shade the upper part more. Okay. Wow, it is kind of loud out there, isn't it? Anyway, get that up there. Oh, almost forgot. Horns. Okay, so we've got that. Not super pointy. Gonna kind of make speckled. Okay. All right. I've spent plenty of time in there. Actually wondering if I should move to something else. I'm not sure. Hello to whoever's watching right now, by the way. I just saw you come in. Let me try that. I kind of imagine them with more of a growling sound when they're approaching you. Definitely not much like that, but I do like the wings. That's why I included that there. I mean, it's interesting at least. I might actually use... I'd probably use these wings anyway, but yeah. This face, it's interesting, so I still have it, but I'm not sure I'd use it. Let's just try to do this face really quickly. Or should we? I think I might stay on this face, actually. Okay. So, a little bit too narrow. Eyes are a little too close together. It really looks more two-dimensional than three-dimensional. So, yeah. I'm just going to go for it. Ready, set, go. Okay, got this up here. Okay, a bit lumpy, but we can work with that. Let me zoom out here. Okay, and then the ear is going to start down there, and I'm just going to start on the other side because I want them to be pretty symmetrical. Okay, and it's pretty much just going to drop down like this, and then curve in. Whoops. Okay, so I've got that there. Just got a rough idea where that is. Okay. This is gonna come down like that. And then on the opposite side, it's gonna do the same thing. Horns, I feel like, would be pretty good to have. Oops. Have that come down there. Okay. And then it's gonna have some super light nose lines. We're gonna have our nose holes there. And then right here. Gonna have that. Okay. I think my favorite part so far is just drawing the eyes. I really like doing the little loops in the bottom. Okay, so we have that. We have this kind of sharp line right there. And then we also have the line on top. And some of these lines are too sharp, but nothing. I don't know. Just another iteration. Gonna have some lines here. Okay, let's do the lines here. Okay. Nope. Not quite like that. There we go. I gotta stop using Control Z. I do not want to use that. It's a crutch. It's a vice. Okay. I'm gonna shade that in. Just to kind of get a better idea of where our shadows are. Okay, so got that there. Let's try for some teeth here. So we've got our tongue again. I feel like there's a trick for drawing better teeth, but I don't know it off the top of my head. Okay, anyways, gonna have this right here. Okay, that's not too bad. It's not snouty enough. It doesn't. Again, there's not that three-dimensional factor. Okay, that's a little bit better. That's a little bit better. That's something. And I think these lines being too sharp kind of makes it so that the brows don't feel like they jut forward as much, unfortunately. So, okay, anyways, we are at the 30-minute mark, so I'm going to be done. Okay, so I'm going to close that, saving it, of course. Gonna save Krita here, and I'm gonna make the switch. Okay, let's do this. 1 second, let me open this up. Here we go, okay. Okay, I'm gonna turn that off. Alright. Oh, glee dokily. Hold on. Okay. I think this is right. Yeah. This is the right lecture. Okay, you should be able to see it now, right? Yay, okay, awesome. So, let me put my tablet away here. Alright. So, I was working on this last night. Too late for my own good. I was trying to figure out how I would even explain this. Just as a kind of exercise in order to help myself understand it. And I was having a pretty hard time myself. Because the way I usually understand things is the way data flows from one to another. For example, here, if I open up Notes. Yeah, for example, in, shoot, go away. In our gas system, everything just contributes to the game mode. I don't know why this is here. Wait. I don't understand. Okay, anyways. This HATEND game mode, that pretty much takes in everything else. Everything in the gas system contributes towards it. In fact, even our plugin contributes towards it eventually. So for example, our fast array has a relationship with our inventory component, which is owned by our player controller, which is the parent of our blueprint of this class. In other words, it's the object. And then this is placed into a drop down inside our game mode. So I understand that, but understanding the data flow in here is a little bit more difficult. So I was trying to sketch it out here. So for example, this gets the inventory list from our fast array. And if we look here, I'm going to close both of those. Inventory component, where's that? So it's right, yeah, right here. right here. So we have this right here. What was our relationship again? It gets the inventory list from the fast array. And the fast array is essentially a way to quickly look at all of the items inside the inventory, figure out which ones need removing, which ones need adding. It kind of compresses all of the data so that it's easier to look over. Okay, anyways, we are going to look at item type tags for this lecture that I'm watching. Oh yeah, and then in here, one of the main functions that I've been working on is this try add item, which is if you look at the ground. Actually, you know what? I'll just show it. I will just show it. It's coming around the mountain. I honestly do not know. Set is replicated by default is. I don't understand. This .canvas panel identifier canvas panel is not available in Lambda 1. What are you even talking about? It's on actor component. I'm just gonna continue. That happened last night when I was trying to compile as well. Very silly. Okay, so anyway, let's open this up. And currently, actually, I'm going to open up our log a little bit more. And I just want to make sure. Let me make sure it's capturing audio. Okay, so you can hear that fire. Okay. Anyway, we have this right here. And when we hover over it with that reticle that's on screen, you can see at the bottom it says log temp warning. Maybe you can't see that actually. You can't see it. No. That makes sense that you wouldn't be able to see that. Okay. Anyways, now you should be able to see it just fine. So, let me hover over it. You can see at the bottom, log temp warning started tracing current actor, and then when we go off of it, something similar happens. And then there isn't a log when we press E on it, but E is going to try to add that item to our inventory. In this case, it's a potion. So, I close that, and this is the function that is used to try to add that item to our inventory, right? Because it could fail if our inventory it is completely filled up because we have to take size into account. Let's actually look. Let's see what our inventory looks like again. Remember, it's a grid-based inventory. So some items you might have like a 2x3, so that takes up 6 slots total. We have to take stack size into account as well, because let's say our entire inventory is chock full, there's no empty spaces left, but we are trying to pick up an item that we already have 3 of, and the max stack is 10, and we're trying to pick up 8, right? we have to figure out, okay, how much do we take in and what is the remainder? Because that remainder needs to stay on the ground. So that's what we're going to figure out. Not today though. Not in this lecture. Today we're just trying to implement item tags. Oh yeah, and so between adding a new item or adding stacks to a currently existing item, so it's gonna figure out which one of those to call. So let's see, what do we have here? Server add stacks to item. This has not been implemented, has it? Oh no, it is. Okay, it's right there. So we have these two right here. Add new item is fairly simple. I guess it has to choose the slot for itself to be in, but I don't think that's too difficult. Anyways, where are we? If result.item is valid, so if the item is valid and if it is stackable, then this will go through. One second, actually. Let's have to send a text here. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna keep watching here. Sorry, this is boring. Okay, so here, let's go although. So he's just talking about how we have item categories, but we also have item types, and he's trying to just explain the difference. Okay, so let's see. So these are broad categories. We're making subcategories and just calling them item types. We're gonna use gameplay tags here. Yes. Why do we have a folder just called types? Oh, this is so bad. This is not how I would like it to go. A lot of the files that we've made so far, they're not even classes, really. It's kind of the interesting part. They're not even classes. They're just files that contain structs or arrays. Okay, anyways, back to the lecture. Oh, it's right there anyway. Like this. Okay, well this one, yeah, that's a class. I guess this right here. Yeah, this is not a class. There's no class keyword. There's no uClass macro. We have a uStruct, and a uEnum. And then I think manifest is the same way. Yep. Yeah, it's just a struct. Yeah, just a single struct on here. Okay, anyways. Okay, we're gonna add I'm gonna move the types folder here. I'm gonna do the same thing in private. And under types, I'm gonna add a file called chanaries underscore item types dot cpp because we're in the private section. Tags, that's my bad. Do the same thing here. So it's gonna be chanaries underscore item tags dot h. There's a ton of errors in here for some reason. No? Oh, shoot. Oh, because they include. Something must have changed. Okay. So since I moved that, everything's screwed now. Wait. Oh, shoot. No. Okay. Gonna turn off live coding. We're gonna close the editor here, actually. And I'm gonna try to recompile. Okay, 6 errors, that's manageable. Last night I had more than 99 errors, and I found out it was because I had the wrong API. I had a made-up API. I think it was called inventory underscore API instead of Chanaries API. That was bad. So here, item manifest. Right, so under items slash types, and then we have items slash types again. That should be it. That should be fine now. If it's not, I'll... Okay. Oh yeah, same thing. Okay, that should resolve it. Oh, there might be something further down the line though, actually. Nope, never mind. Okay, we're all good. We're chilling. Nice pragma once. Native gameplay tags.h. Oh, we need to add this. Oh, and also I don't need all of these here. Engine slate port enhanced input. I'm gonna make sure we can still compile. Syncing projects. I don't want to sync a project. What are we talking about? Okay. Okay. Anyway. Gameplay. Nope. And there we go. Food. Item. I'm gonna also include itself, so that's gonna be items slash types slash item tags dot generated actually dot h uv underscore gameplay acts game items dot equipment dot weapons. Okay, so if we recall from when I was working on the gas side of this game, um, we had we had to work with gameplay tags. And if we remember how those work, it's basically just a hierarchy where this is the broadest category and this is the narrowest category. It's like this file folder, right? Under the source, we have chanaries. Under chanaries, we have all these. And if we wanted to make a hierarchical statement about this, we could say about this particular item, it would be source.chanaries.base.base item. In the same way, under game items, we have a category called equipment. Under that, we have a category called weapons. And under that, we have, well, we would call it a category if there was something under it, but there's nothing after it. So this is its own thing. But technically speaking, it's just a hierarchy for categorizing different gameplay elements. I feel like that's a good way to define it. UE declare game. There we go. Wait, we're taking this away, I guess, and putting it in the CPP file. Oh, that's the wrong one. Okay, for some reason this is not working. Cannot resolve symbol L. What are you talking about? Include. Define gameplay tag comment. X. Game items. Dot weapons. Dot X. Oh, we're missing the last part of it. The actual. Wait, what is this? I don't understand what the last bit is. Defines a native gameplay tag with a comment that is externally declared in a header to allow other modules or code to use the... Whatever. Anyway. Equipment. Huh. Okay, a namespace. What exactly is that again? What is a namespace? This feels like such a bad question. This is not something I should be asking. It's been a while since I've worked with these though, which is why I'm having to ask. It's like a labeled container that helps organize code and avoid name conflicts, especially in large projects or when combining libraries. Suppose two different libraries both define a function called print without namespaces, the compiler wouldn't know which one you mean and you get a naming collision. But if each function is a different namespace, you can separate them clearly. So if you don't define or specify a namespace, there must be some default namespace it's using. Namespace cloaks is one that he has. I'm just going to put that in there, even though I'm probably not going to have cloaks. Namespace, he has masks. I'm going to have armor. And then he takes this and puts it right in there. So basically, he's just talking about referencing his gameplay tags using these namespaces, but I'm not sure how that's going to be implemented properly. Okay. And if we wanted to get even more specific, we can make it so that there's certain types of axes, and in that case, we'd make a namespace under this one called namespace axes. They're doing the same thing here, except we're deleting that. Right. Gameplay tag comment. So I guess this is the actual comment, but then this is the tag. So what is this then? I don't understand. Oh, interesting. So okay. So let's say I wanted to access my... Oh wait, I can go directly from game items to weapons. I don't need to go through equipment. That's interesting. Okay, we're halfway through our coding. part, our coding section. Oh, wait, never mind. It just does it automatically. So inside of there, whoops. Wait, hold up. Game items, equipment, weapons, axe. Hmm. Space, consumables. Honestly, hold on a second. Wait a gosh, no, a second. I'm realizing that. Hold on. 1 second. I'm realizing that I should not be using the same item categories that he's using. I should be using the ones that are native to my game design document. Okay, for some reason, Notion is not opening, but I will force it to open. Okay, so switch back. Right here, we've got that. That's not really important. So content. Let's go to items, player items. Right. Okay. So I have a good bit of things. So we have ingredients, weapons, branding, containers, and accessories. So I think we'd go with oh man. I'm not sure if we should do this now or if we should do this when we've finished the course, because I don't want to get too lost in the sauce here with making it perfectly tailored to my tastes. I think we can just make it we can just choose our top 3 categories. So I'm going to choose weapons. Excuse me. Weapons, ingredients, and something else. Accessories, containers. He's also doing the inventory a bit differently. You know what? I'm actually I'm gonna leave that alone for now. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it alone for now. We will implement our custom categories later. So in equipment, weapons, cloaks, armor. You know what? Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. I'm going to namespace underscore game items. Okay, there we go. I had a bunch of namespaces in there. That's not what I wanted. Okay, so in here, okay, I'm going to delete that. I'm going to actually copy this line. And inside of here, I'm just going to put black. Actually, I'm going to put tattered cloak. And then inside of armor, I'm just going to put just gonna put some gloves. or maybe instead of that, I will just have some boots, I guess. Instead of consume. Oh yeah, should probably make another namespace for that. Namespace, potions, and this one's just gonna be health potion. Yeah, so for example, this is not what my health potion is going to be called in game. We can change all that later. We can rework it. I'm just trying to understand how this system works right now. Because if I focus too much on that, I'm going to get totally lost. Okay. I'm going to have one for sulfur. So we have sulfur. I'll just put in a few. Might as well. Oh, that's the wrong one. In here. So inside of ingredients, let's just have. Let's see, essential sulfur. Wait, sulfur. Is that a it's more of a consumable. Inside of I'm gonna make a namespace called sigilry. I'm gonna put this in there. Then in here, it's inside of craftables. Does that mean ingredients I can? I'm just gonna call it ingredients. I'm just gonna call ingredients because it's just kind of confusing as it is right now. Instead of ingredients, we're gonna have. What should we have inside of ingredients? Nope, wrong one again. Well, really, the main crafting is just metals. So I'm gonna have iron ingot. But then I'll also have a sigil base. Actually, yeah. So I'm just gonna copy this. And I'm gonna replace this. Oh yeah, wait. UV underscore declare underscore gameplay tag extern UV underscore define underscore gameplay tag. And then we have to change a little bit here as well. So instead of just X, we'll have game items dot equipment dot weapons dot X. Oh man. Okay. There's gotta be a simpler way to do this other than typing each one out. Dot equipment dot cloaks dot whoops, tattered cloak. I'm kind of a slow typer too. Used to be a lot slower, but okay. Again, game items dot. Well, I'm just gonna copy this just to make it a little bit quicker for myself. Equipment dot armor dot boots. Okay, and then here we'll have game items dot consumables. Just gonna copy that, and it's gonna be the health potion, and then I'm gonna do that. This is gonna be dot sulfur, and then just gonna have this. Oh, just gonna copy that. Game items dot ingredients dot iron ingot. Game items dot sigil base. Oh, whoops. Ingredients dot sigil base. Type one word sigil. Screw you, I know how to spell. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I'm only gonna make a few, just like one per category, one or two. Because I'm just trying to learn this plugin, you know. Okay. Oh my goodness. He has so many tabs. He has like 20 of them open. Gosh. Public items, manifest, item manifest. Do we really need a separate folder for manifest? Really? Why do we do that? I don't understand. Why don't we just bloop, right there? But anyway. I think, yeah, so we're going to change this to ingredient. And we will have some problems there. I'm actually going to look for craftable. We're going to have some errors for sure. Item tags. Okay, I'm just going to remove that. Manifest. Grid types. Equipable, consumable, ingredient. I want to change that right now. Let's see. Info message, maybe it's in user widget. Nope, not in there. Okay, I've fixed that. Is it in info message? Oh, maybe it's under here. Grid slots. Grid slot.h. Nope. Inventory base. Nope. Spatial. Maybe it's in here. Oh, okay. Maybe it's in here. Craftables. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, so we are going to change this to ingredients. I think those are the main two there. And I'm going to do Control H. We are going to look for craftables and replace with, nope, that's not what I meant to do. Craftables. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, I think that's it. We're gonna have an error when we try to play an editor. So I'm gonna start that up because there's a widget that's bound, I think. Yeah, so right. Okay, whatever. Where is it? Yeah, bind widget. So we need to have the button be named exactly this. And then we need a grid named exactly this. So I'm going to go in plugins, generate content, UI, inventory. Which two are those again? Spatial. It's just under spatial inventory. Yeah, so we're going to rename that. Ingredients. Okay, let's try to compile. That works. Let's press play. It doesn't crash. That says craftables. We do not want to say craftables. Spatial inventory. So this text needs to read ingredients. And because of the way we have it set up, it spaces out automatically. So for example, if I renamed this something crazy like that, it spaces out automatically. Perfect. Okay. Beep boop boop. Beautiful. Okay. Well, already. I'm gonna cancel. I'm gonna save everything. I'm gonna go back here. I'm gonna stop it from there because that's a little bit faster. Takes like a quarter of the time. Oh man, we are so close. 2 minutes lecture time left. Let's see. Anyways. Okay, we're gonna make a gameplay tag here. So gameplay. So we're gonna make a tag, a private section. So F, gameplay tag container, gameplay tags. Oh, never mind. Function there, okay. So F, gameplay tag, get gameplay tag. Nope, not quite. It's gonna be get item type, const return item type. Hmm. Okay, so we're opening this up again, I guess. Meant to hit debug, but doesn't really matter. We'll just do that. Whoa! Check that out. Oh. I don't understand why this keeps popping up. Why do we get that? Okay, anyway. We got this right here. We got this little item there. We're going to look at its blueprint. And if we go down to the Channeries section, nope. Inventory? Nope. What is it under? Oh, it's part of the item component? Oh, I see. Yeah, so right here we have our item type. So we can choose the gameplay tag that we want to be attributed to this health potion. And I'm just gonna, it doesn't really matter right now, I guess. What is he gonna do? It should be under game items, huh? Oh, interesting. Under inventory, we have consumable. Yep, that's the right category. Item type, it's gonna be under game items. And then under that, it's gonna be under consumables. Then health potion. So then if we look at it all together, it's going to be game items.consumables.health potion. So we have our hierarchy there. Hello, by the way. Just saw you pop in. Oh, never mind. They're already gone. Okay, we finished with that lecture, so wow. That was long. Okay. G. Wilkers. Okay. Well, we are going to be done with coding there. I'm going to move on to Blender. So I'm going to save everything there. And I'm not going to commit. Not right now. I'm going to close all that, except for GitHub. I'm going to leave that open. Let's see here. Blender. Let's see, sculpture.blend. Right here. Okay. So, right. So we have this problem where it just looks really bad. And I remember we actually have a reference board for this sculpture. So I'm going to use that. One second. I'm going to find that. Nope. That's not right. Right, this here. Okay. You know, I really wish I had had this character idea for my main game in my head before, because then I could have started sculpting it sooner. Okay, anyways, I'm going to put some stuff on screen for you guys to see. So we have this reference board right here, and some of these references are back when I was thinking I would make it more mechanoid. Same thing with this. This is more mechanoid. Well, not really that, but you kind of get the idea there. What I'm really going for is something more like this. I have just some anatomy, some different references here, just to build on my visual library. No, these two are a bit more orc-like, especially this guy, but I don't really want that. This is also a pretty good representation of like the basic anatomical proportions. So, oh, wish there was a way to see the head a little bit better. Dang, that guy's shredded. This is clearly AI. I mean, just like look at all that muscle that doesn't make sense. And this, and that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. That's like some 2019 ChatGPT modeling. That's an orc again. This doesn't really fit with my vision at all. I'm gonna remove that. This also doesn't really fit with it. But yeah, I'm not even gonna look at the lecture for my course today. I just need to fix the face, and I think I'm gonna use this as a reference. That doesn't really show the lips though. Ugh, I need something that shows the lips. That maybe? That doesn't, that's the beard obstructing it though. I mean, this is a little bit better, but still. That's an orc. I don't want that. Dude, everything that I have doesn't work. Okay. This is actually pretty good. I'll use this. And then maybe this if I really need it. Okay. So, right here, we've got the nose. And I just should make it a little bit less defined. So I'm going to use my draw tool. Bring that out. Smooth this in. I think it's okay to have it be that much. What if we decide to draw on the eyes? Probably not going to do that. Okay, so I'm just going to look front view. First thing I notice, the nostrils are not exposed enough. So I'm going to use my grab tool. I'm going to pull these out a little bit. And every time I come back for Blender, even if it's only been for a few days, it feels like it's been forever. Because you really have to work to regain that intuition back if you're as much of a noob as I am. I think if we make the underside a little bit thicker, that'll make it easier to see the nostrils if we mirror it on each side as well. Okay, I feel like it's an okay shape. It's not really the best, but it's okay. We got maybe a little too much curvature, but let's just try to get the lips down. So, first of all, this all sucks. I'm just gonna smooth it over. We're gonna try again. Let's get our draw tool out. And it's gonna be like the basic lip split right there. I'm gonna make nope, that's too much. And the strength, we need to increase that. Okay. That's a pretty good height. Yeah. That's pretty good. And then let's smooth this out down here. Okay, I'll set that back to 0.25. I'm just going to increase the volume of that bottom lip a little bit. And why is this sticking out so much? That doesn't make any sense. I need a side profile. Hold up. Give me a side profile. Okay, and you guys can see all of that. Okay, good. Yeah, so let's compare here. Actually, I'm gonna set up my pure ref here. So the lips are starting way too late. So they look like garbage right now. That's why. Okay, so actually, we're gonna smooth this over again. It's gonna be right about. Actually, let's just focus on getting this shape right. It's a little too curvy. Okay, I'm just gonna make it come down like that. I feel like that's okay. And then right below, I'm gonna give the. No, that's too smiley. Okay, that's all right. Make it a bit more defined, maybe. Okay, and we need to make the chin come out more. So I'm going to inflate it. I think the chin comes down a little bit too much, actually. So I think I'm going to smooth that out from the bottom. Just to kind of force it to come up a little bit. We'll do a little soft crease. That is way too hard. My goodness. Nope. 0.25. Start there. Okay. No, that's not what I want to do. Let's see. Grab. One. Let's see. Sorry about the background noise. I don't know. I don't know why that's happening. Let's see here. I'm going to add some lips. Might have been a little too pronounced. No, I don't want it to be too filled in on the sides. Okay, that actually looks way better than before. The whole thing kind of looks, like handsome Squidward, but it looks proportional, which is a huge achievement for me because I have, man, proportions are just really tough for me. Just a little tuck there. Maybe there should be a little bit more variation with the. I don't know. Nah, it's not that bad. On second thought, we could actually make this come down more. Oops. I just use grab. Okay. Let's see here. I think it'll make it look less awkward once we have that extra tendon underneath the jaw. What would we even put in there to make it look? I'm gonna try shaping that now actually. Hmm. Yeah, a little bit more. Okay. Make it a bit more defined. Maybe smooth this out a little bit more. No, it doesn't really matter. Hmm. Hmm. Those ears should be turned out more, I'm realizing. Let's go to object mode. I'm going to rotate these on the z-axis. No, even more. And I'm going to move them on the y-axis. Okay. And I have to do a better job with shaping them, but they're okay right now. We need those tendons in front as well. I assume we'll add those later though. I think I might just do 5 more minutes of this, because I won't really be able to finish a lecture anyway. Just want to do some touch-ups. Okay. So let's go back to sculpt mode. And I would like to, oops, let's draw on here. Hmm. Hmm. I think I've made the eyebrows too exaggerated. I think we grab this and just bring it down a little bit. That'll be better. We're going to do an elastic snake hook. That's too big. Hmm. Let's try working on the nose a little bit more, because that definitely needs some work. I think maybe if we make it at a steeper angle, so maybe something more like this. Because yeah, and our reference comes, there's more of a vertical line like right there. Yeah, like that. Maybe a little bit less so. But anyway. That's too much. Does it look? Oh, here's a good one. I know it's kind of grainy, but okay. So 1, 2, 3 times. Okay. So we do a little something like a little swish there, and then on top. Say if I fill this in. How do I fill? Is there a fill tool? I guess I can smooth. That does the job. If I want to, okay, I want to crease, like right about there. Nope, it's too much. Smooth this down. Pinch that down a little bit more. Okay, that looks a ton better. Okay. Could we make any other changes? Let's take a look at the side profile again. Oops. Oh, it only shows the right side. Okay, well, I'll just use this side then. Okay. Maybe we draw a little bit more. Its strength needs to be halved. Yeah, let's bring it down there. I'm just gonna this out. And we're gonna try to produce that cleft. That might be a little too prominent. Yeah. Take a look at this again. What about below? If I look below here again. If I draw a bit more. There. Okay, that looks a little bit better. So I'm gonna bring this in. Could we work on the lips anymore? Just feels a little bit off to me. Fill that in a little bit more. His whole face just looks a little too Botoxed. Bring in the jaw a little bit more. smooth things out. A little bit over there. Okay. I think I might just leave it off there. I'm happy with that. I think I just need some fresh eyes in order to make some better progress. The eyes do look a little bit funny now that I look at them again. But yeah, anyways, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed that stream. I will be streaming tomorrow from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. And we'll just be doing the same thing. Just drawing and then some more coding. Probably on our inventory. Definitely on our inventory, actually. And then we'll be doing some more Blender. So, again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Farewell.